Well, hey guys, what is up? Good morning. Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Another episode of 7 Around 7. Meaning, let's see if we can keep these live morning videos to 7 minutes, right around 7 a.m. Pacific time zone. I'm out here on the West Coast, the California desert, specifically Rancho Mirage, a little, I think it's southeast of Palm Springs. Not much, a little bit. But the Mission Hills Country Club, home of, I think, the best grass courts in the United States. If not, got to be in the top 5 in the world, right? I don't know what's better. Maybe someone's got like someone manicuring their private at-home backyard grass court with, a daily deal. Maybe a little better than that, but I guess Wimbledon's better. I don't know. Never been there, so I couldn't tell you for sure. However, man, we got some beautiful stuff here. Anyway, another day on tap with some grass with my good buddy Tony Dawson, who's here for the month of February. And we're going to get out and kind of, work out a little bit on the court, high noon today. So looking forward to that. Guys, hope you're doing well. And I know that everyone's kind of getting back into tennis, that most states are lifting, if not all states are lifting restrictions on being able to play tennis, especially the indoor facilities. So I hope you're finding some time to be able to get out there and work on your game. And look, I mentioned yesterday, February 1st, what's on tap for you this month? I mean, what's your goal? What do you want to accomplish this month? Is it something to do with technique? And my bet is that, your technique on whatever it is probably good enough if the other 3 things are happening. Number one, the other 3 things are tactics and strategies. Do you have, some shot patterns in mind that really suit your skill level, that really suit your skill set? And that skill set is based on, movement abilities, all this kind of stuff. I mean, are you better at serving and volleying the whole time? Are you better at mixing in some serve and volley, some backcourt stuff? Are you really realistically better at being a baseliner and starting the point from the baseline? Serve, stay back, return, stay back, and look for a short ball to get in on. You've got to figure that out on your own. So tactics and strategies, right? Third thing is mental. Got to get organized with the mental part of the game. It's absolutely huge. And if you're not managing what you're doing between points, then you're 80% of the match, which is spent between points and on side changes. You're probably not setting yourself up to the start of every point to kind of have a clean slate and be fresh and be ready mentally to go at the start of each point. So look, I've got a 4-part between points routine that I've mentioned almost daily to you guys, right? If you want it, I'm happy to simply give it to you. All you got to do is just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com, or you can direct message me or Facebook. Happy to give it to you. Hey, Mark, 15 inches of snow outside the front door today. Tennis snowed out last night. Okay. Yeah, well, there you have it. I know the Northeast and lots of parts of the country are getting hammered right now. But let's get back to what we're talking about, which is the mental part. You got to get that organized. And then the 4th thing, obviously, is physical. What are you doing for the month of February to get quicker, to have better endurance, to have better flexibility? All those things that if you did nothing with number 1, which is technique, you did nothing with tactics, and you did nothing with mental, but you focused on physical for the month of February, by the 1st of March, you'd be a better player. What a concept, right? So anyway, I'm just curious what you're working on for the month of February. You ought to have a goal other than just playing more tennis or whatever, but something you want to work on. If you want to let me know what that is, would love to maybe give you some ideas of what to do to improve that thing. Again, direct message me at Facebook or shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. All right. Enough of that. Oh, one more thing. If you're struggling with your topspin second serve, I do have a free course. It's about a 20-minute course. The link is down below in the description area. Really what I want to show you how to do is to get some more natural racket speed, which will create obviously some power, but how do you control that power with the right kind of spin, up spin, top spin, so that you end up controlling your power. You get much more consistent placement where you want it, and you get that nice high bounce. And if you're good at it, get a little kick, right? All that good stuff. That link is in the description area down below. So guys, let's talk today. I got a video I want to show you. And I think it is right here. Here we go. Another point with I'll put this over here. Another point with Glenn Busby, right? And Mike Federle a couple of years ago. Glenn Busby, typically top 1 or 2 guys in his age group in the world year after year. And Mike Federle, right there with him, nipping at his heels year after year as well. One of the top guys in the country for sure. And let me tell my buddy Ian that I'm I'm on a live video here. So look, guys, here we go. I'm going to play this, and we'll kind of do the classic what's the right shot. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause the video right about here. And I'm going to ask you, actually, we're going to look at 2 shots of what's the right shot, right? We're going to look at this one with Glenn. Love the setup. Just absolutely love the setup. Completely ready early on this ball. In terms of getting spacing and really allowing the ball to get into, not rushing the pass. But Glenn decides to go, and I think he intended to go more up the line, closer to the sideline, but he gets the ball up here to Mike. And I'm going to ask you right now, what do you think is the right shot for Mike? Well, one thing that I look for is that when I'm approaching and I've got a good court position coming in right about here, is I'm hoping that the guy just drills it, especially when he's, what is this, 3 feet, 4 feet behind the baseline? Because I want to take time away from my opponent who's going for the pass. So I'm looking for, okay, man, look, if you can, have this little 1 foot, 2 foot area over here to this sideline, maybe you have a little more space here. That's fine. But you know what? I'm moving in this direction. So this gets a little tougher. And if you want to top or lob, maybe to this corner, fine. I'll give you those 3 shots, right? But even if you want to dip it down where I can get to it, right? If you want to dip it in here, or if you want to dip it in here, maybe at my feet, what I'm thinking about every time is I'm thinking about with my opponent geometrically pretty far away from me, right? I'm thinking, well, where's the longest distance that I can make my opponent have to run for this ball? And in this case, it's not here, right? It's not cross court. This is not the longest distance that I could geometrically make him run. And I don't know how Mike thinks about this thing, but I would have done the same thing, which is to play a little dropper into the far corner and make my opponent run, right? So whether or not I'm going to get, and in this case, what Mike gets is a high volley where his leverage to knife it over here is a definite possibility, but I just don't like the risk of having to really sort of angle it away from my opponent. It just seems like it's closer to him if I do that, if I'm going for the angle here, as opposed to the drop volley that Mike hits. But again, even if I get a ball that's down low here or down low here at my feet, I'm looking to soften up the hands and make my opponent run that distance. Not to say that they won't get there, but I just kind of assume if they do get there, it's going to be a tough ball, right? So let's go ahead and take this all the way back from the beginning so that you can see it in real time. And I know the connection is probably a little slow, kind of tough to keep it totally smooth, but you're going to get the idea. And by the way, why not once in a while throw in this kind of a return? If you know that you've got a guy who is serving and staying back, Why not take your return and just roll it up there? And you've got the lower 40 to roll this thing into. As long as it's not short. Look, I mean, Mike has run around here. He's gotten himself theoretically out of position, right? But why not just roll that thing up there and let it sit up there and hang? And this is deep enough. This is about halfway, right? Almost halfway between the service line and baseline. Doesn't really give your opponent, that server, if they're staying back, literally staying back. Now, look, if you've got someone who's going to be in here, well, then they're going to have to deal with a high on the rise, a tough on the rise ball here. But Glenn just goes ahead and plays that forehand. We've seen him hit a million slice backhands. Love Glenn Busby's slice backhand. And there you have it. All right, guys. So there you have it. Get better at your drop volley, right? Get better at anticipating or almost hoping that when you've pushed someone back with your approach shot, and it could be on a second serve return, or it could be that once the point gets started, like we see here, that eventually you get an opportunity to approach and your opponent doesn't step in and try to take time away from you in terms of going for their pass with a little bit bigger target because they're stepping forward, you know, a little bit bigger opening, whether it's up the line or cross court. But if they move back behind the baseline, then I'm always looking for that opportunity to play a drop volley or maybe a drop half volley or whatever it is. I'm hoping that they ding it. I'm hoping they give me power. Because look, if they give me power, I don't have to really do anything other than just bunt the ball somewhere that is the longest distance for them to run. That's kind of my target. So guys, hope this has helped. Would love to read your comments or questions, feedback, whatever you've got. You can do that down below in the comments area. You can direct message me at Facebook or shoot me an email, Brent@webtennis.com as well. So guys, with that said, it's time. Get out there today and help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I will see you again tomorrow.